worst decisions of my life didn't feel reckless when I made them. They felt practical. That's the part that still bothers me. 2 years ago, I was driving home from a family reunion that had dragged on longer than it should have. The kind of event where everyone promises to leave after one more conversation, and no one actually does. I didn't stay the night because I had work in the morning, and the drive home was a little over 2 hours. By the time I left, it was fully dark, the kind of dark that swallows your headlights instead of reflecting them. Most of the drive cut through long stretches of rural road. No streetlights, no houses, just dense bushes and trees packed tightly on both sides. The road felt narrow, even though it wasn't, like it was being slowly reclaimed by the forest. It looked exactly like the roads you see in movies, right before something bad happens, which I remember thinking was a stupid, dramatic thought at the time. About 45 minutes in, the fatigue hit me all at once. Not the gradual kind where you can power through with music or caffeine. This was different. One moment I was fine. The next, my eyes felt heavy. My thoughts started blurring together, and I realized I'd reread the same road sign twice without processing it. My body decided, without consulting me, that it was done. I cracked a window, turned the radio up, slapped my cheek once or twice like that ever actually helps. Nothing worked. I told myself I just needed a place to pull over for 20 minutes. That's it. A gas station, a rest stop, a wide shoulder, anything that felt safe and visible. But the road didn't give me any of that. Just endless trees, narrow shoulders, and the occasional car passing by every few minutes. Headlights flashing past like reminders that I wasn't completely alone out there. Eventually, another realization settled in. I wasn't going to find a good place. And that's when I made the decision that felt logical in the moment and idiotic in hindsight. I slowed down and pulled off onto the grass, easing the car behind a thick patch of bushes. From the road, I'd be hard to see unless someone was actively looking for me. At the time, I thought that was a good thing. I convinced myself I was being smart, hidden, out of the way, unlikely to be bothered. I checked the time out of habit, 11:22 p.m. I remember that clearly because I told myself I'd only sleep for a few minutes. I leaned the seat back slightly, kept my keys in the ignition, and closed my eyes. Sleep took me immediately. The first thing that woke me up wasn't fear. It was confusion. A faint scratching sound, like something brushing against metal. It took me a second to realize it was coming from outside the car. I opened my eyes and stared at the ceiling, disoriented, listening. Scritch, scrape. I checked the clock. 11:50. The sound stopped almost as soon as I fully registered it. The silence afterward felt thick, but I was still buried under exhaustion. My brain offered the easiest explanation. An animal, a raccoon maybe, deer brushing past, something normal. I didn't look around. That decision, that choice not to check, still sits wrong with me. I closed my eyes again and fell back asleep. The second time I woke up, the sound was louder, more deliberate. This time it didn't fade out after a few seconds. It kept going, slow and uneven, like fingernails dragging lightly across the side of the car. I felt a tightness in my chest before I even opened my eyes. The clock read 12:40 a.m. That's when fear finally cut through the fog of sleep. Animals don't usually come back like that. Not almost an hour later, and they don't linger. I held my breath and listened, suddenly very aware of how isolated I was, how hidden. My car wasn't visible from the road. If someone stood a few feet away, no passing driver would notice. I forced myself to move and glanced into the rearview mirror. I didn't see much, just a dark shape, low and fast, darting away toward the trees. Whatever it was disappeared into the forest before my brain could decide what I was looking at. I told myself it was an animal. I didn't believe it. My heart was pounding now, the kind of pounding that makes your hands shake. Every stupid story I'd ever heard flooded my mind at once. urban legends, late-night horror movies, warnings that always end with someone saying, "I should have trusted my instincts." I gripped the steering wheel and felt something cold settle in my stomach, because whatever had been scratching my car didn't feel curious. It felt like it had been checking something, and for the first time since pulling over, I understood how bad it was that I had hidden myself from the road.